Alright, in the previous video, I've given us the overview of this Excel dashboard. In today's video, what we are going to do is just to learn how to create something beautiful just as what we have right here. So now, before we actually delve into the creation of this dashboard, let me just give you a little overview. So the dashboard is all about a call center where we are trying to evaluate and analyze the monthly performance of the call center using this data set we have right here. So on data set we have daily calls record. So we have, for this date, we have this agent under the answered call under production, and we have the average speed of answer in seconds, and we have the in-person visit. So we have call answered. So if the call is being answered, we're gonna have it under Y. If the call is not answered, we have it under N. And we have the satisfactory level, which is gonna be 1 for satisfaction and 0 for not satisfied, and all that. So we try to use functions to create our own dashboard without using the pivot table, but after all, we still think like what the person that actually created that machine called pivot table, thought creating this. So we were able to actually create our own filter, just like what we have right here, which we're gonna do in no time using this backend. So now this is the backend we use for this particular dashboard works. It's not really much, it's just not that much for us to do. So I'm going to show us how to do everything right now. So thank you very much. So you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, you would like to do me a favor to hit the subscribe button just to actually follow along on any of my videos. Alright, now I'm going to take you to the workbook we're going to be using for this dashboard creation. So I'm going to view. So from view, you're going to switch windows and we click on this YouTube call center dashboard. So I already have this right here, so it's very simple to be created. It's just a bunch of shapes. You can actually take it and you can see shape upon shapes, all that. So for we to actually make the tutorial very short, I've actually get to have this pre-built for you. So now if you look at what I have right here, you can see it's just a shape. So what you need to do is just to actually get a shape and actually look at where I actually created it and ape to see what it is that you can actually do with it. So now I have my backend already set for you. So nothing on the backend. So we're going to start to create our own filter right now that's going to actually help us to filter the data on a monthly basis. So what we need to do for the first time is for we to actually get our scroll bar right here. Go to developer tab, hit on this, and actually locate this scroll bar from control. So I'm going to actually click right here and have it here. So exactly, so this is where I have it. So now I've got my scroll bar right here, so I'm going to link it right now for the first time. So just right click and go to form control. So from there it's going to come up this way. So now the current value is going to be 1, the maximum value is 1, the minimum value is 1, and the maximum value is going to be 4. So increment is 1 and the page change is 1. So we don't need to think about the page change right here. There are some circumstances you can give it number like 10, 4, 5, whatever it is. So but we are not in that circumstance, so we can't actually talk about it right now. So I'm going to link this by clicking backend. So I'm going to link it right here. So don't just always remember what we have right here so that you can actually follow along very well. So when I say okay to it, that is it. So I can start scrolling right now. So if I go back, you can see we just scroll to the let's scroll to the first one. So now going back, we are going to see that we've actually scrolled to the first one. So now what do? We want to actually create filter right here on our data source. So to create our filter, first of all, what we need to do, we need to determine how many months data we have. So if we go right here, we can actually click right here and see how many months data we have. So because we have our data on a table format, so we have data from January down to April, so that is what we're going to actually create as well. So now I'm going to say January. So all I need to do is just to drag it down, so it's going to give me the rest of the month. It's not okay. That's February. So it's gonna be March, I think I get it, April. So now here we go. So now the month number is going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 is the month number. So now let's see what magic will happen right now. So what we need to do right here is for we to provide it the start day of the month, like this January, so it's going to be on 1st January 2020. So now we're going to get this down to that. So we are going to actually use this fill months right here. So it's giving us 1st January, February, March and April. So now we need the end of the month. So how do we get that? So can we hand code it to, like, okay, now the month ends on 29 or 30? So we don't want to guess, right? So what we need to do right now is for we to actually use this end of month function. So we get to give it the start date, and comma is going to be the month, so we need 0 for this. Or if I close it and hit enter, it's actually guessed right that the month ends on 31st. So we don't need to actually, we don't know when the leap year is actually. So we can click this and drag it down. So now what we need to do is just to come right here and see if what we're actually getting is actually right. So now, sorry, I'm gonna actually take this out for now. So I'm gonna drag this down. So I need the end of month. Or is it giving me, it's giving me the month end 31st? Yeah, I think it's correct. Can you see? This month end on 1st of this month end on 31st, this one end on 29, this end on 31st as well. So right now we need to actually start right now filter. The next we're going to do is for you, we need to use index and match to determine what we really want from here. So we want something very magical. So what we need to do right now is for we to use index. So the index is going to be looking for the array. The array is where the answer you actually want is sitting. So it's sitting right here. So I'm going to say comma. So we need to provide it the raw number. So the raw number, now we're going to use match to determine the raw number, which is what is coming from our scroll right here. That is the raw number. So I'm going to hit comma. So right now give it a lookup value. So the month number is what we're going to give it. So now the reason why we're giving it the month number right now, and the reason why we use this number, is because every single time we click a filter right there, so it's going to go to our data source and actually let's look at the date we have right there to evaluate which one is January and when does January start and where does it end. So it's going to actually some kind of summarize the data we have right there and give us the answer. So right now I'm going to select this as the array. So what this does is this one is going to actually come right here and like, are you one? Yeah, I am one. So it's going to pull this data and actually have it here for us. So I say comma, is asking me for the match. I'm going to say the exact match. So that is not done. So I'm going to use match to actually determine the column I want to pull data from. So using match again is going to actually like, okay, what column is that? So determine this by actually using this folder right here. So I'm going to say comma and I'm going to actually select this two, hit comma and like give me the exact match. So if I have it closed, I'm going to close it twice now, so hit enter. So it gives me the first one to be this. So all I need to do is just to make it very simple and easy. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to have this right here. So now all I need to do is just to change the position like this and have it here. So if I hit enter, you can see it gives me the start and the end. So if I change this 1 to 2, so you can see what I have, change it to 3 or 4, you can see everything is changing, right? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just, I need a condition right here because we're going to be using this in no time. But before then, let us just see how we can actually implement this to our data sets. Now to create our filter right now, I'm going to say this is called month filter. So we have a month filter right here. So we're going to actually click in anywhere around this table and go to the top and hit on design. From design, we're going to say, okay, we're going to name our table to be full table. So that is the name of our table right now, full table. Always remember it because we're going to be using this a lot. So now what we need to do, we need to use a function called if and. So if and is actually looking for a logic 1 and logic 2, all that. So what we need to do is just like, okay, if this very date right here is greater than and equal to this particular starting date, so comma. So the second logic we're gonna give to it right now, as you can see, we still have all the help of the intelligence right here, so we need to give it a second and so now we're going to go back to our data sets and we're like, okay, if this as well is less than or equal to this particular date we have right here. So it's asking now, is the question is this date, is the date in our data sets equal or less than this date? So now if we close it, the logic is complete. So hit comma. Now it's going to tell us that, okay, this whole, now that we've actually put our comma right there, so what it is that the whole from and down to right here is actually our logic. So now what is it if it actually happens that way? If it is true, what is it going to be? Just say true. So I'm going to hit comma, and if it is not true, we're going to use the word false. So I'm going to have to close this and I hit enter. Oh, sorry, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to hit enter. So it's giving me all false. So now if I go right here, it's giving me false all true. The problem is that we have to log this particular range down, so, but we didn't do it. So right now I'm going to do that, and you see what it will default to automatically. So just you hit down the $sign right here. If your F4 is working, it's actually preferable. Just get this. So I'm going to actually, so now if I hit enter, so now if I go back right here, you can see all false and true. So if I go right here and actually exclude the false and leave the true, I see where it is true because we have what? We have April selected. So if I have January selected and I go back, I see false, right? Until I select what? I select the right one. So now I'm going to select the true. So now I have it on January. So this is what we need to do. We've just created this for the first time, so that is okay. Always remember your table because we're going to be needing this table a lot, so it's full table. So now that we've done that, so the next thing we're going to be doing right now, we want to determine what month is being selected, right? So now the next thing we're going to be doing again is for we to use the index. So index and match is what we need to use. So the index is looking for the array, so this is our array, so where what we want is sitting. So now I'm going to be using match, and the match is going to be what we have coming from our scroll. So every single time we make a scroll, if it is 2, it gives us something from here. If it is 3, it gives us something from here, which is going to actually fetch data from here using the numbers. So now I've actually have that there, so it's looking for the array, so I'm going to provide this array. So now I'm going to be looking for the exact match. I'm going to have it closed, so hit enter, or second parenthesis. So now here we go, we've just gotten this right. So now we have January, so we want to actually see if we select anything, go back to the dashboard, we want to have whatever we select to appear at the top right here. So it shouldn't be like we should be guessing what it is that we've selected. So how do we do that? Just equal to this, and we have to concatenate it with selected. So what it does is this is February selected. So if we go right here and select January, it's going to tell us January selected. So what we need to do right now is for we to actually get it right here. So I'm going to actually come to the top right here, insert, and click on this. Here we go. So I'm going to say okay, fine. So we're going back and actually pick this, hit enter, and I'm gonna bring it to the top right here exactly. So now I'm gonna change the color to white. So I'm gonna change the color to white, make it bold. So I'm gonna add in that magic right now for you to see what is it that I'm trying to do. Let's see, so you can see it's changing. So I'm going to actually have to add, make it uppercase, upper, and I'm gonna say close. So if I go back, you see it's turned out. So the February is turned out because it's on uppercase. That is how you can actually get to do that. So now you can see the month is even appearing right here every single time we make a selection. So right now we're actually done with that. So this is one out of many. So the next thing we're going to do is to start building our dashboard mainly. If you're still here with me, hit the subscribe button. It won't cost you a thing, so you can follow along every single time I have an upload. So now what we need to do is just for you to get the inbound calls. So how many calls per day or in the month selected. So now if I hit on equal to, what I'm going to do right now is to use what I call table nomenclature. I'm going to say count if. So we're going to be counting. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to say equal to count if. So the count if is going to be requesting for the range. So what will be the range? The range right now is going to be our table, the full table. Now how do we get the range out of this full table? Because the reason why we give it the full table is because we want to pull the column we want to actually count, right? So we are not doing any we're not pulling any column right now. So the column we need is actually the month filter. So we want to actually count for the only month that is true. So what we need to do is just to add our month right here. So this is the month filter we just created. So I'm gonna have to close it and have our comma right here. So the criteria is going to be the ones that are true. So if I close it right now and hit enter, so what I have 2 or 3 as well as the number of calls for the month. So let us go and verify to see if this is true. So go back to SOS and see how we can actually get to do that. So take it here. So I'm going to say equal to count if. So the count if is looking for the range. So this is the range. So the criteria is going to be true. So if I hit enter, I have 2 or 3, just like what I have right here at the back end, 2 or 3. This is exactly what we want. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually get this to a dashboard, because it's going to be very smart right now. So here we go. We've just gotten it right here because I have it pre-built. So what you need to do, let me show you what we do to actually get that. So go right here and do the same thing we've just done previously, and just hit on your equal to right here. Just go and actually pick this and match it to where it should be, just like what we have right here. This is the time inbound calls. So I'm going to actually get to delete it because we don't need it. So we already have it right here. So we've actually gotten it right here because I actually have this right here for you to make the dashboard creation very smart. So now we've gotten that. So in the call answered, how do we get that? So now this is where the formula comes in. So we're going to be using some products. So we'll be using some products a lot in this video. So I'm going to say some products. So open that bracket. So right now I'm going to actually see, okay, now I will get a table right here, the full table, which is the data source. This is the whole table in the data source. So I'm going to pull a column. So what column? The column I want to pull right now is to check first of all if the month is true, which is where the months are true, where we have the month selected being true. So I'm going to say month. So I'm going to actually have to close this. So equal to true. So already that is the first check. So I'm going to multiply it and open that bracket. So right now what I need to do is just to have my table again, full table, and now the column I want to pull right here is where the calls are answered. I'm going to say call, where the call, close this, equal to. So now for the call that are answered, they are always in Y, and Y is not recognized by Excel. The machine doesn't understand what Y is all about. So for we to actually give it what Y is all about, we need to actually use this double quotation and put our Y in between and close it. Now we close and hit enter. Now this is what it is. We have 147 in the month selected. So let us go and see the month selected. The month selected is actually month 2, which is February. So if I select month 3 right now, you can see it changes automatically. If I select month 4, it actually changes 77 and 105. So this is how it works, right? So I'm going to actually make sure you're seeing it very well. Go back to the top and actually go to view, and I'm going to click on zoom right now. So now this is what it is. So now this is it. So now the next thing I'm going to get is actually the average speed answer in seconds. in the month of April that we just selected. So what I'm going to do is just say equal to some product. So opening the bracket, and right now what I'm going to do is just get the table right here, the full table right here, and from the table, using the table nomenclature, so we're going to actually pull the data from this column, which is the month. Try to check if the month is true. So where we have the month April selected, where is this true, we're going to close it and multiply it and actually opening that one. So the multiplication doesn't mean it's going to multiply the value, it means that it's going to aggregate everything that has to do with April and actually fetch it all right here first. So now bring the table on again, and this time around what I'm going to do is just to get the average speed of call. So now have it closed. So what I'm going to do right now, if I actually go ahead and actually close it and hit enter, okay, fine, I'm going to give it the second close. So if I hit enter, what I have is just the aggregation of the whole average speed of the whole speed of calls, so not on average. So for me to get the average right now, what I need to do is just to divide this by the total calls, like the inbound calls. So right now I have 26.0 to be the average for the month of April. So now I need to get the abandoned calls, the calls that were not picked. Is very easy. We can use long formula to do this, but we don't want to do that, right? So what we need to do right now is for we to use this very short formula functions to actually get it. So take this from this. So the total calls for the month minus the call answered. So it's going to give us the remaining call one to be unanswered, right? This is how we get this. So call abandon rate in April is as well as easy. We don't need to write a very long function. So I'm going to say open bracket. So this minus this. So when you close it, you now divide by this, and when I hit enter, it gives us 26.7% of the call rate being abandoned. That is it. So right now the next thing is going to be the in-person visits. So right now, for we to get the in-person visits, I think what we need to do, we need to actually get this, and actually I think, yeah, we have this. You can copy this. Let us recycle through our functions and see how this can actually work. So now to recycle this to get the in-person visits in the month of April, so what we need to do is actually, I'm going to actually take from here and I'll just type in-person visit. So I'll have this closed and hit enter. Is 1,699 the in-person visit. So now I'm going to do the same thing by copying this away from here. Now I'm going to actually paste this one right here to get the satisfactory calls. So how many calls were satisfied? So we need to go right here and just say okay, fine, we need to actually change this satisfactory status. So now if I hit enter, it's going to give me 66, right? So because it's not actually, we are not very specific. If we go back to our data source, we have the satisfactory calls to be 1. So every call that are satisfied is going to be recorded in 1. So unknown satisfactory calls is 0. So let us go back and see what we can do to actually get that. So just right here, you're going to type equal to, so 1. So we're not, the reason why we are not, if we look at what we have right here, so if I hit enter, it's changing. Okay, now so for the month satisfactory call is 66. So if I come right here, what is it? Okay, I think, yeah, if I come right here, you see I have this double quotation right here, right? And I have y in between because y is not recognized by Excel, but Excel understands what is true and what is false and what is 1. So all this is well understood by Excel. So I have a tutorial that actually teaches you what Excel understands. So now that I have this, I'm going to drag this down. So what I'm going to have right here is actually 0. So I have the satisfactory call to be 66 and have the non-satisfactory call to be 0. Oh, sorry, to be 39, because I have 0 right here to stand for not satisfied calls. So if we go back to our dashboard, so we actually have all this right here. So exclude this, right? So let us see how we can actually bump this up to actually make sure it fits into what we want. So I'm going to go and increase this. So exactly, yeah. So all I need to do is just to, so this is exactly what we want to see. So now the next thing we're going to do is to get this right here. So I'm gonna click on speed in seconds. So here we go. So we're going to actually get this. So the formatting is okay. So now this is very speedy, right? So instead of we to actually start creating this from the scratch, it is always good to actually pre-format your dashboard before you actually show the viewers what you have to offer. So we've just gotten this ready. So the next we're going to actually get into right now is going back to the back end, and it's going to be this. So we need to actually start creating our charts right now. So I'll show you how I created this. That we have right here is dynamic. So now the first thing we're going to do is just to get it insert, called insert. So this is different. Just let's just see what we can do to get this. So I'm going to say equal to the same sum product we've actually used. So open another. Okay, so now I'm going to put my full table right here. So this time around, what I'm going to check is not just the month yield. So what I'm going to check is actually see if what is being selected is department. So bring the department column on and say is this department equal to production. Like I want you to actually aggregate every call answered. Aggregate every calls answered under the department of production for me right here. So now I'm going to close this and multiply this, open that bracket. So now before you do that, will you help me check if the months selected are true? So I'm going to say put my full date right here, our full table right here, and I'll bring the month column. So close it and say equal to true. So I'm going to close it and I'm opening the brackets. So the next I'm going to check right now is if the color answered. So all where the color answered, I'm going to be bringing the column of the call. So right here, so call. So here we go. Now is equal to, and I'm going to open this and have my Y in between. So I'm going to have to close this. So if I hit enter, you see we have 14 calls under production that was answered. So what we need to do is just to drag this and have this all true. So 35 in sales and 28 in logistic. So now we don't need to actually do the same thing over and over again on those ones. So we can recycle through our function. So we cycle through it. So right now what we need to do to just have this is actually not answered, or we just need to change this to n. So it gives us 7 calls that were not answered. So it gives us 14 right here. So if you want to see if the call was satisfied or not, so what we need to do is just to have to come right here and make changes to this whole range. So I'm going to say satisfied status. So I'm going to say equal to 1. So if I hit enter, just 14 calls were satisfied. So I'm going to drag this down. So right now what I need to do is just to copy this and change that 1 to 0, which stands for not satisfied. So hit this and actually just change this to 0. So that is okay. So you can see how speedy it could be to actually have this built. So the next we're going to do right now is for we to actually create this first chart that we are seeing right here. So go to view and actually switch. So this is the first chart we're going to actually create right now. This is the first chart we're going to be creating. So going back to it, I'm going to switch again. Here we go. So I'm going to actually select this whole range right here, and I'm going to go to the top and select insert, and I'm going to insert this type of chart. So I'm going to be removing any of this, so I don't want them. So I'm going to be bringing this legend to the top. My legend should be at the top. Okay, let us leave the legend at the bottom. So now we have this here, which I'm going to link and show you how I did it. So it's linked. So right now this is called progress at the department level for the month of April. So every single time we make a change to this, I'm going to go right here and actually select January. You'll see everything is going to change. So going back to it, it changes to the month we have selected. So this is how I did it. So all you need to do is just to like use the equal sign and actually like okay, call progress add the department, for the month of. So now, because we have actually done with that, so what we need to do is actually have it closed right here and input here concatenations. So now we need to actually concatenate it with this month we have here. This is the month. Oh, sorry. So we go back, we've made a little mistake. Okay, fine. So here we go. I think, yeah, it's done. No, it's not done. This is the one we are actually working in. So here we go. So now we don't need to actually have a quotation mark open. So just have it and hit enter. So when we go back, this is what we see exactly. So we can actually get to this. We have to format it a little bit. So now for we to have this uppercase of a thing, just you write your uppercase and have it closed right here. So this is what we have exactly. So this is how we actually got this right. Okay, now we want to actually put a satisfied call right on this, so we can actually click on this, copy this, and actually have it right here. I just want to show you how to do this. So here we go. So right now I can right click on this and actually go to change. Okay, fine. Now what we want to do right now, we want to have the satisfied one on line chart. So which is this? I'm going to actually click on secondary level access, so we can have different types of line charts we have right here. So we can go for any of them. So hit OK, have it on line charts. I'm going to actually remove this axis right here. Oh, sorry, a Control Z will bring it back for us. So now we need to get this away from here down to the dashboard right now. So I'm going to cut this away, take it to the dashboard. Here we go. Our first chart is ready. So here is our first chart just ready. So now we can actually format the chart the way we like. Okay, if I'm gonna think of giving it my color, the very desirable color I have right here. So I'm gonna go for this cool color for it. So I'm going to go for green for this color, and it's going to be a very cool green, and this green is okay. Okay, so it's a line chart. So I'm going to go right here and actually use this as my line chart. So I'm going to go for line chart. I'm going to go for this. Yeah, it just worked. So now here we go. So I can actually go for this, just like satisfied is on a green. So there is another chart right here I'm going to actually create right now. So before doing that, I'm going to actually say our fill there is no fill. For line there is no line, so no outline. So now I have in the chart right here that shows those that are not really satisfied. So I'm going to click back and actually select this and have this selected as well. Then all I'm going to do is just to add in that chart. Be very careful when adding this chart. It's not just this chart, but is this particular start column chart. This start column chart will help you to get to what you want. So after gotten this, what we need to do is just to click back at the top and actually go to switch row. So here we go. This is what we've gotten, right? So right now this is what we've gotten. This is exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to take everything off, and the grid line is going to be off from here. So I'm going to make it smaller, exactly like this, and I'm going to click and go to this add chart element. So I'm going to go to this, and it's going to be under inside base. So right now I'm going to actually put my legend at the top. So my legend is going to be at the top. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to actually drag it down and make it smaller, exactly. So I'm going to actually center this. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller until I get the perfect view, exactly. So I'm going to actually get this away from here, cut it, and actually take it back to my dashboard, which is right here. Make sure you're not clicking on this X. S is going to replace it. So now what we need to do is just to drag it this way, go back to the top, and go to formats and say fill, no fill, outline. I'm going to say no outline. So I'm going to actually make it smaller. Okay, fine. So now here we go, we have to change the colors. So make sure the color matches what we have right here. I think the color is this color. So right now I'm going to change this color to something cool. So change this color as well to match that. I just want to keep it this way. So exactly, so this is what we have. If I change right now, you can see it's just like what we have in the previous one we've actually seen. So the dashboard is almost ready, right? So you can see this. So the next we're going to create right now is this very chart, and we are almost done with the whole stuff. So we go back to the back end and see how we can actually create for this as well. So what I'm going to do, I told you about recycling, so I'm going to recycle through this. I'm going to copy this away from here, take it right here and actually have it dropped. So I'm going to scroll a little bit. So now here we go. Now we have this. So we're still looking at the department levels, but right now we don't want to look at department level. So we want to actually take it off from the department level down to the agent level. But still yet we have to change this. So we need to change this to this particular one. So now if I hit enter, I have 35. So right now called answered, we are onto called answered for the month, which is very true. So we can actually click and drag this down. This is what we have. So now what I'm going to do is actually copy from here again and actually have it here and have this here. So for now I'm going to have to change this to not answered, which is n. Our n will do that for us. So if I hit enter, it gives me 14. So we'll recycle through that. I think you must have known how to build this using constructing this function. So now the satisfied one, now how do we get the satisfied one? I'm going to actually take this off from here and replace this with satisfied. Just hit your S, it gives you that, and you just have to use 1 for satisfied. So now it gives you for satisfied. Let's drag it down, and what you need to do is just to copy the whole formula and have it right here, and just change this 1 to 0 to be not satisfied. So hit enter, it gives you 20 not satisfied under this. So if I click and scroll down, I think exactly is correct. So now you can see how we did this. So now before we actually come to the unique value, I'm going to show you why we have unique value right here. We don't need to actually talk about that right now. So we need to create chart for this right away. So let us see the kind of chart we have right here for this. So here we go, we need this tagged column chart, right? So go back and actually click insert, and we're going to insert this chart right here. Can you see that? Exactly, this is what we need and exactly what we've done right there. So we're just going to change this header to this. So here we go. I'm going to take this away, I don't need it, make it smaller and drag it up a little bit. Oh, okay, yeah, I think I love that position for it. So we don't need we need this at the bottom. So what we need to do right now is just to actually get this away from here. So we're gonna make this very small. I think we should put it under 11. 10.5 is fine. So I'm gonna get this away from here. So this very one, I'm going to actually have it to be at the side. So the left side now is going to be at the right side. So exactly this is what we have. And this time around I'm going to make it smaller. It's to splash for it. So now here we go, we have a clean work right here. So I'm gonna get this away from here down to the dashboard to see what it is. So if I have it right here, so nice, make it sit right here. I'm gonna drag it and have it here. So now all I need to do is just to get the fill color, the shape fill color. We don't need it, and the outline we don't really need it. So now we can actually think of bringing this down and bump it a little bit. So now we can now bump it up, put it on bold. So just give it a little bump up. Yep. So exactly this is what we've gotten. So now we need to change, just have to be very careful how we do this. We have to make it match this. So just go to this and actually have to use this very color for this, and when we come to this, what we need to do is this color that's going to be here is going to be, go to the tab and we're going to select this pink, light pink. So right here for this, always going to be, this is satisfied one. The satisfied one, we're going to give it green because it is satisfied. So we're going to use this green color for the satisfied, and the non-satisfied we're going to use red to actually give that message that okay, this is not really satisfied. So we have something like this. So it's looking like what we have right there. So I'm going to actually have to make this match to this. I'm going to say okay, go to 11, 9, 10 point something. So now here we go. So here is actually getting amazing. So it's changing, and you see the amount changes as well. So we want to actually get this text we have right here. So what we need to do is just to go, and I think I have it right here. I'm going to copy this text. I'm going to say copy, minimize this, and go to insert and insert this. Make sure it's actually speak volume before you copy it, and just put text right here. Make sure it's actually give what the message you are really looking for. So I'm going to paste it right here. So I'm going to select it and go to select and make sure you make it align. So go to format and actually remove the shape fill, and as well you take off the outline. Don't outline. So what I'm gonna do is just to copy this. Okay, do I need, yeah, it's just to copy this right here. So I'm gonna get it off from here while I go and get this. So we copy this away from here and come back right here and actually have it pasted. So exactly this is what we need to have. So we've just gotten it. So the next one is to build this particular chart we have right here. So how do we do that? So we go back, and I think we have to come this where I presume, yeah, here is this particular part we're going to have that chart built. So what we need to do right now is for we to get the percentage of the between the called satisfactory and not satisfied. So I'm gonna go like this equal to this. I think it's gonna be okay, so gonna say this equal to this minus this by 1. So here we go. Oh, sorry, we are selecting weird something. So it's this from this. So we divide it by 1. So it gives us that. Oh, I think it's, I'm getting something weird right now. So let me take a look at that. Oh. So we take this. Oh, this is the biggest number. So from this very one right here. So once we do that, and we're gonna say put it in brackets, make sure you have this in brackets, and you'll have to divide it by this again. So this time around we have it, so that we did is some kind of weird. So right now we've just gotten this. So because we want to have a chart built, first of all what we need to do is just for you to come right here and select this particular insert. We're gonna select this donor chart. So we have this donor chart selected. So we're gonna delete anything. We don't want anything we have on it. We don't really want anything at all. We don't want anything. So now we have blank chart right here. So this blank chart we have right here. So how do we get to build this? So we just right click on the blank chart and select data. So now we need to actually remove this, and we add new. So right now what we need to do is just here, we're gonna make here to be 50. So we have a comma, we have here to be 20. So we put comma, and we have 30. So we are building our charts gradually. So now comma, and we need to give it 100%. So what we have, the whole cycle right now, we've turned the whole cycle to be 200%, but we're going to be using these parts, and we're going to make the 100 to be some kind of invisible, right? So if I hit OK, this is what I have. So how do I do this? Before we go on, so we're going to actually have to build the main part of our chart. So I'm going to actually make it smaller for now. So this is what I have. So what I have is the satisfactory calls and not satisfied percentage change in the month of February is 38.9. So now if I come right here, I want to actually have 1% right here, and here I want to actually have this formula. It's gonna be 200% minus the sum of these two. So if I hit enter, because I don't close it, so it's okay. So now this is what I have. So now I want to have my chart built. Before I do that, I'm gonna actually make sure I make it large again. So I'm gonna right click on this and select this. You can double click, it gives you that. So select right here and go to this particular aspect, and we have to turn this to 270 because we want to change it, rotate it to make sure this face down exactly is what we want. So make sure you have this selected alone. Go back to the top, and here we're going to say, we select this, say no, and we come down and we say no border. So that is what it is. So now what we need to do right now is just to give it the color we want. So the color we want for this is actually we need this very color. So for here we need green, we need yellow, right? We need something yellow, just like this. We need a yellow like this, and right here we're gonna need red. Yeah, we're gonna need green, and this is the green we want to actually give to it. So something like this is cool. So right now we need to actually build our, we need to make it some kind of speedometer type, right? So that very needle we have inside it, we have to create it right now. But before we create that, I'm gonna actually click to have it. Okay, fine. I think I'm okay with this. So now to have that needle part of it, I'm gonna click again and select data. So this time around I'm going to add another series. So where is the series gonna be? It's this. I'm gonna take this off from here. So it's gonna be these two I'll put together. So I'm gonna say okay and okay right here. This is what I have. So how do we turn it into what we want? So I'm gonna actually right click on it again. Okay, before we do that, I'm going to go to this particular aspect and actually make sure this is 270 right now. Oh, is it ready? Okay, before we do that, so I'm going to right click and select this, and here we go. So the second series we've added, make sure you are selecting that. So go and turn it to a donor chart, and yeah, so we turn the pie chart, sorry, so secondary axis. So I'm going to say okay. So this time around I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to make sure I have this on 270. So 270 is, if I hit enter, now this is right. So I'm going to actually click right here and say no fill and no outline, right? So click away. So click back inside and make sure this is selected alone. So now this is selected alone. So go to the top right and do the wonder. So click on this shape outline, and this time around we're going to be using something nice, just like this. We'll use something darker. So we select it again and we go to this particular width. I love using 3 points, so it's too big, right? I'm gonna use 2.5. So here we go. So we've just gotten something like this. I'm going to select right here and go to shadow, and I'm going to give it a shadow to be this shadow right here. So now I have to close the shadow, and I'm going to go to glow. So the kind of glow I'm going to give to it right now is this glow, which is this nice glow. So now I think we've just got our chart built. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select the chart. I'll make sure I take off anything that has to do with we don't want any. Okay, fine, I think it's cool. Select the chart and actually make it smaller. So I'm going to cut it away from here down to the dashboard aspect, so to see how it sits right here. So now I'm going to say no fill and no border. So if there is one thing we did that is not supposed to be done, oh sorry, okay, fine, I think it's cool. So right now we need to actually select, right here, and go and actually remove the border, no border. So now that is done. So now if we change this, we see it changes as well. So now we can actually make sure we bump it up a little bit, size it up a little bit. So we have a text coming right here. So we're going to select any of this and actually bring it here, and go and bring the text we have inside here. So now here are the text. Okay, I'm going to go and actually get insert, and I'm going to insert this text box. So I have the text box right there. I'm going to say equal to, and I'm going to use this to bring it on. So right now I'm going to select and actually go and make sure I have it formatted the way I want it. Okay, fine. I'm going to remove the format. Say no. The outline, I'm going to say no outline, and I'm going to go to the color of the text. I'm going to turn to white. I'll bump it up a little bit. So exactly, this is what I want. I can make sure I have it just like this. So exactly, it's actually looking like the one we have previously on the dashboard. So if we go back to the dashboard right now and see what we have right here, go to view and switch. So we're having something very similar, just like this, right? So this is what it is. So now what we need to do is go back. So now I'm going to actually make sure this one comes a little bit down. So now I'm going to select this and actually have it right here. So now the next thing I'm going to select the percentage that is associated with that. So hit it. So now we go to home and we have it in white, and the kind of font, okay, have it on white. The kind of font we want for it is agency FB. So now we can actually put it on bold, and we have to make sure is, yeah, something like this, right? So we have to reduce this a little bit. so it sits. No, still leave it the way it is. So now what we need to do now, we have a very circle right here that we have to actually have right here. Now we can actually take this up a little bit. So we go to the top and actually come and go to insert shape, and we click on this and have this shape right here, and we need to just get this kind of shape. I think something like this is cool, so we bring it on to this aspect. So we have it here. So now we're going to go and change the shape color to something more cool like this. So fine. So I'm gonna go to the shape outline. I'm gonna say no outline. So go right here and go to the preset. So what we need to do is select this. So that is done. So we can now take this again and just give it a very tiny, yeah, something like this. So this time around I'm gonna select it and bring it down, have it at the top right here. So I'm gonna go to the top and change it to white. The outline is gonna be white, so the shape is going to be white as well. So now if I click away, this is what I have, but I don't want to have something like this. I want to look more like it's been sold on it. So I'm gonna click on this one. So I'm gonna select the shadow, and I'm going to have this shadow selected. Yeah, so this is what we want. So I'm gonna go back and select outline, see no outline. So this is exactly what I really wanted. So now that we've gotten this ready, so this is all we need. So we are going to do the last thing before we actually make it to wrap. So now here we go. So we need to select the three agents that actually give us the most call satisfactions. But how do we do that? Because we have duplicates right here. We have 22. So if we try to get this, it's going to actually get for only one agent. So it's not going to really be nice. So we need to actually add another extra column right here. So we'll call it unique value. So how do we get unique value of this particular satisfied call that is actually with duplicate? So I'm going to say equal to this plus rows. So and the row is going to start from here and ends there as well. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to divide this by a large number, probably 800,000. So if I hit OK, this is what I have. So now it's very unique. But if I drag down now, what it's going to give me? It's going to give me something weird, right? It's not giving me anything unique. So what we need to do is just to lock the first, just lock here down, hit OK, and this time around you can now drag down. So what it gives me is 1 2 3 4. So it makes this very unique right now. So every sales agent right now are very unique. Every sales agents are unique, and all the satisfied calls are unique. So can I pull this data? So how do I get this right now? So to get the to get the top three agents, we really need to actually use the large function. So I'm going to use large function right here. So my large is going to actually, before we do large, so I'm going to have to put my position right here. We need the top three. So here we go. Those are my position. Those are the keys. So you can see the keys right here. Don't worry, you understand what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm going to say large. So the large is going to be here. We're going to select the three large, just numbers from here, and using this. So I'm going to have to close it, and we're going to lock this down because we don't want it to move away from there, else it will move and default to what we don't really like. So let's start. If I hit enter, okay, you can see we have 29, and 22, so which is going to be what we have right here. But the unique aspect of it is just 3, 1, and 5. So which is 3, 1, 5. They are the largest, right? So this is what we really want. So we have 229. If we also have to actually do it by actually selecting this alone, it's going to actually default to something we don't really like. So now we need to get the agent names right here. So how do we do that? So we can now use index and match. So using index and match is going to be asking us where we want the where is the which is the array, where is the what we want, where is what we want is coming from. So it's coming from this table, this whole array right here. So I'm going to say comma. So the row number is going to be, we're going to actually get to see this by match. So match. So the lookup value is this lookup. So I'm going to put comma, and the array is sitting right here. Hit comma and give me the exact match. So now we're going to actually match the header to see where the column we want to draw information from. So now this is the column agent right here, and here we go. Select this whole header right here, comma, and we have our 0, which is going to be the exact match. So close it again and hit enter. So we have this to be. So but if we just drag it down like this, what we have is weird, right? The reason why is because we don't lock any of it down. So right here, if you see, we don't want this to move, so we need to actually have to lock this down. So we have locked the whole table down right now. So what we need to do is actually come right here, and the match we actually, which is this particular range or column right there, we need to actually have it shut down as well. We don't want to actually get to move that, otherwise why it's giving us not a valuable NA. And the header, which is this particular header right here, so we need to actually get it locked down as well. So, and the whole header we have at the top right here, so we need to actually get it locked down. So this is what is very important, else if we actually drag it down 100 times, it's going to give us some kind of weird answer. So I think this is all we need to do right now. If I hit enter and go drag it down, so I have it to be correct. So now we have Peter and Sally, Faith and Frida, Greg to be the top. So now we need to actually get it satisfactory this thing up right here. So we all need to do right now, we need to recycle through this. As I've said earlier, we can recycle through this and actually get to what we want. So now if I go and actually place this right here, so what I need to do is just get this to look up to this, and now I got your number. So let us see what we have right here. So we have 29, we have the 29, we have 29, we have 29 right here, and we have 22, 22, and we have 22. So what made it unique is this number we actually added to it. So this is exactly what we want, and we've just pulled away what we want. So all we just need to get is actually this. Those we don't need it, so they're just whole per column. So I can now click right here and select the kind of chart I really want to actually use for this, which is this particular chart right here. A nice one. So I think I've shown us how to get this dynamic labeling we have at the top right here, so which I'm gonna get on it right now. So here we go. Okay, fine. So I'm going to actually minimize it. It's too huge. Okay, 10.5 is okay. So I'm gonna get it down there. So get this away, we don't need it. So the color is going to be, before the color, just double click on it, bring it up right here, so click and come and actually make it exactly. So now I'm gonna have the numbers inside here. I'm gonna have to put the data label inside it, so I'm gonna put it inside base exactly. So now here we go. So now we need to change the color from here before we go to the dashboard. So we need to make sure the color is looking like other colors we have right there. So now we have something nice and unique. So now we can actually cut and actually go to the dashboard. So I'm going to take this away from here. So now here we go. I'm going to have this here. So I'm going to drag this down. So now we can assign no fill and no border. So exactly this is what we have. How about this? This is nice, right? So this is exactly how we can actually create this dashboard. It looks exactly what we have in the other dashboard, so it looks very identical that if we go back to the dashboard, we can't really recall if we are having if we are actually having this, so what we want to do is just for we to actually pump this up a little bit. Okay, now bring this up so it looks very awesome. So you can come right here and actually come and actually make this to be bump it up, and this as well we can do the same thing right here, so bump it up. So you can do this formatting on your own, it's very nice. So I'm going to be giving you the template to download it and actually take a look at how I actually got this done. So if I actually scroll and change it, so you can see it's changing and it's very dynamic. So if I go to the top and actually go and see the previous one we've had built before this, you can see it's almost the same thing, just like almost the same thing, right? It's almost the same thing. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're still here with me, all you just have to do is to assist my channel to grow by actually hitting the subscribe button, and I'm gonna be giving you more great content every single time. I really want to say thank you for staying to this end. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. If you love this channel, please share this very video to others so that my channel can continue to grow and I'll continue to have the muscle to give you more content always. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay blessed, stay cool, and stay out of trouble.